Today we're going to learn how to do an independent t-test using SPSS, and we're going to test the hypothesis: have Pennsylvania residents born after 1979 been exposed to a greater amount of strontium-90 compared to New York residents? Strontium-90 is a byproduct of nuclear fission, and we're going to test this using a significance level of 5%. So if we look at SPSS, I've already uploaded the data, and you can see that in the first column, it has the individual's state of residence, either Pennsylvania or New York. And in the second column, it has the radiation level in millibecquerels per gram of calcium. So in order to perform our independent t-test, we go to Analyze and Compare Means, and we click on Independent Samples t-test. So the test variable is the either interval or ratio level measurement variable that we have, in this case, radiation level. And the grouping variable involves the two states that we're comparing, Pennsylvania and New York. We have to define the groups, PA and New York. It's important that your groups aren't too long. For example, SPSS doesn't work if you have a group that has a length of maybe like 5 to 20 characters. And you can adjust the confidence interval range if you desire, but we're not going to do that today. So we run our hypothesis test, and if we go down to our independent samples, we have this thing called the F statistic here, and it tells us whether or not we should assume that the two populations have equal variances or not. The significance level of this test is pretty small, indicating that we should not assume that they have equal variances. So it's a little bit confusing sometimes what this means, but essentially, if the significance level of the test for equal variances is really small, we should not assume they have equal variances. And if the significance level is pretty big, like 20%, we assume equal variances. That means we're going to read off the second row. And here we see that we have a significance level of 0.004 or 0.4%. That indicates to us that our hypothesis results were significant. That is, we're going to reject the null hypothesis in favor of the alternative hypothesis. So if we go back and look at what our initial problem was, we're going to conclude that, yes, we believe that Pennsylvania residents have been exposed to a greater amount of strontium-90 since 1979 as compared to New York residents.